Hello and welcome to another episode of Ban Me Not, the first ever live streaming channel that showcases programs, initiatives, and ideas related to the broad thematics of culture and social innovation. As always, we are Evangelia, Maro, Nikos, and the second Maro, me, your host. Evangelia and Maro work behind the cameras for our live streaming. So Nikos and me are going to be your presenters. We are all cultural heritage professionals and members of the Bosch Alumni Network, our supporter in this endeavor.
Okay, really quickly, some guidelines again. You are watching us with a delay of, let's say, 5 seconds, more or less. It depends on your internet connection. You can interact with us in real time via the chat. If you have any questions, if you have any comments for our guests, we'll be happy to share them. Chat language is English and English only. Also, if you are new here, don't forget to click on the little heart image to follow our channel. And today we talk about education, an extremely vast field, as most of the topics that we have covered are. And that is why we have narrowed it down to digital pedagogy on the occasion of another band-supported project, the International Conference of Digital Pedagogy that took place in Zagreb a few weeks ago. And now let's welcome officially our guest for today, Rose, and also Anna, who is not here with us, but we have recorded her interview since she wasn't able to join us today. So hello, Rose. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for this lovely introduction, and thank you for having me here. I'm really pleased to be a part of your project.
Thank you.
Glad to hear that. Before we start, let's watch some snapshots of the conference so as to begin our interview with Rose.
Wow, we truly had a great and fruitful time in Zagreb, I must say. And as we said, the person behind this, it's no other than Rose, who organized all of this, you had the idea and you took the initiative to make this happen. And thank you very much again. So let's start by telling us a few things about you. We want to know you, your interest in this topic also, and how you decided and you ended up organizing the conference.
Okay, so yeah, maybe I should start with a brief introduction about myself. My name is Ruzica, but please call me Rose. It's much easier to pronounce. I work as a junior researcher at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences here in Zagreb in Croatia. And I must say that right now Croatia is playing against Belgium in World Championships football. So if you hear people screaming, that means that either Croatia scored a goal or the other team scored a goal. So I'm at home, so you will probably hear people screaming if something happens. Yeah, okay. So I'm working at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences at the Department of Education or Pedagogy. And my field of interest, especially after the COVID pandemic, started to be digital pedagogy. So that was my first idea of what can I do to get myself first familiar with this topic. So at that time, the call for a project was published on Ban Network. So I decided, yeah, why not? Why shouldn't I do something in the field of education, because I know that there are a lot of projects under BAN, but not so much in the field of education, as people can see that I am the only one here talking about education. So yeah, that was the reason I wanted to apply and to do something in the field of education, just to get to know people who are interested in this topic, which is digital pedagogy. So my overall goal of the conference was to get people from the network to discuss, to connect, and to have I would say, a stronger connection for future activities in this field. So that was my idea, and I thought of this conference as some sort of kickoff meeting, as for all the members that are interested in this topic. So maybe I should start just briefly about what was the idea behind the other idea behind the conference. So you know that in recent years that a lot of things has happened in education, a lot of things have changed, and it was even more emphasized during COVID, and basically teachers and lecturers are struggling to find some adequate methods, and they're struggling to adequately respond to growing demands of students whose lives are more or less dominated with by the technology. So this is the reason that it is very important to start the discussion about digital pedagogies, to see what is the future of education in a digital era. How do we find, and that was the most important question for me, how do we find a balance between technology and education, and what can we do to support the adoption of the education to the digital age. So that was some of the questions I wanted to address during this conference, and I really think that we succeeded in this.
Truly.
Mm.
And actually at the conference, what we've noticed among us, it was that there was a very interesting mix of professionals, like from different backgrounds and from different perspectives at the same time, but all working on the topic of digital education. So would you like to share a few highlights of what happened there? Some points regarding of the presentations and the presenters?
Yeah, definitely. We had a quite interesting pool of experts, as I might say, coming in Zagreb. First, we had two plenary speakers, and then we had some workshops and presentations. So I should start with the plenary speakers. The first one was Professor Mark Ingham. He still is a professor from the University of Arts in London, who gave us an introductory keynote speech entitled, I have to read it, Experimenting in Entangled Digital Pedagogy. Yeah. So after him, we had our colleague from my Department of Pedagogy, Professor Komar, who was talking about video game interactivity and learning. So that was very interesting as a keynote speak. After our plenary sessions, we had our two experts from Greece, Gregory and Yanis, who held the workshop speculating on the future of education, workshop on alternative learning realities, where the participants had the opportunity to discuss the future of education and the changes brought by digitalization in the means that we had to, it was very interesting workshop. We had to think about what will happen and what could happen to education if some social breakthrough happened, like nuclear war or aliens coming to
I remember
Earth
that.
or something like that. We had to think about um, um, this big impact that could happen, and after that we had to think of the plan for education, what we as a people could do in this field. So yeah,
I remember that I liked very much in this point that you had the choice. Do you want it to be a utopia or dystopia? I mean, anything happened. Do you want to go to with the positive side or the negative? And it was very thoughtful, let's say, approach.
yeah, and you really and it just got me questioning about, okay, what truly is the future of education. So I'm very happy because based on all our discussions, I'm now writing an article about it. So it was, for me, it was really fruitful discussion. So we had on the second day of the conference, after we had some fun at a dinner, and we had sitting tour guide during in Zagreb and so on. I hope that was fun. On the second day on the conference, we had 3 workshops. 2 of them were dealing with digital museums and digital museums education. So we had our Nela Milic from University of Arts in London as well. She was she had a very interesting presentation about how to bring art closer to those students who are not so maybe close to art. So she was discussing about what did she as a professor did do with her students during COVID time. So it was like a digitalizing museums and so on. It was really fun to see that trip to museum could be so fun. Yeah, it was really nice to see. And after that, we had Maro and Evangelia.
Who are they?
Yeah. If you want to say something about your workshops, then I can give you the floor if you want.
The time will come later on, don't worry. Spoiler.
Oh, okay, so I will not talk about it now, right? Or
No, you can, yeah. You participate. We did a workshop about how to design content, museum educational content for digital means. I'm going to say a few words later on in our episode, but you participated in our workshop. You can say something from that perspective.
Okay, no, it was really very interesting for me because I wasn't so much informed about what can be done in this field, because as I said, the digital pedagogy is just a new field to me. So I really learned a lot about all of you. Maybe I've learned more about the digital pedagogy from you as a practitioners than what I've read in articles or something like that. So it was really fruitful, as I said. Yeah, and at the beginning and at the end, sorry, we had our 2 experts from Romania who were presenting their what have they done in their work with teachers, mostly primary teachers, and we discussed about led learning technology. So it was really a different aspects of digital education, and it all came to a very interesting 2 days. At least for me, I'm saying from my perspective, I am very happy with the conference.
What really I keep, at least from this conference, that it was more workshop based than presentation based, let's say. I mean, we all make some introductions, we set the framework of discussion, and either was museum education, elementary education, or university or something. But in the end, everyone jumped into some hands-on action, and transferring of knowledge among us. And that was a very well designed, I think, conference in the end.
Yeah, it was your workshop was very interesting as well, because we thought about the idea of making bread, right? It was in your, yeah. And Nikos is saying what? But the idea was to think about some activity and how to digitalize it. So we came with a very, very, very interesting and very realistic, as I might say, to implement it. Idea how to have some sort of bread making competition on Twitter. We had younger generation connecting with older generation, people from different nationalities with different traditions in bread making. So I think if that's a very good idea to be implemented.
Actually, yeah, it's a project I want to make it happen. So if anyone from Bosch can hear us, I have a new project idea.
Okay, count me in.
Yes.
I'm up for it. Yeah.
Okay, let's cycle back a bit on the digital pedagogy aspect, because you are a professor, and now we are sort of back to normal life. But do you plan, or does your environment in the university, I mean, thinks of moving forward with a hybrid model, like say physical attendance, but also digital tools in the education?
Okay, I can only speak about my department and what's happening in my department, and I can only say it from my perspective, what I think.
Yeah.
And I think that I am, and I'm going to say it a bit ugly, sick and tired of technology right now at this point, because we struggled a lot during COVID times, because you cannot have the classes are not so the courses or the lectures are not cannot be so quality. I don't know how to say it, online, because most of the time I was in front of my camera speaking to myself. There were students who were on Zoom or Meet, or I don't know what platform did we use, but they didn't have their camera turned on. When I asked the question saying, what do you think about what I just said, nobody answered. So it was just me and myself during this lecture. So I'm very glad to be back in our classroom, to have the real interaction between my students, to see their faces, to see if they understand what I'm saying or they don't understand. So we are more keen on at our department, we are more keen on not having any hybrid classes. So because we see that this is not the way teaching and learning should be. I know that there are a lot of online courses and so on, but I think that in these 2 years we have lost uh, generations of students who could have done something in our classroom, who could maybe discuss more, yes, so I'm not really keen on going back to that state of even hybrid. Yeah, so I'm more of having it in person.
Nice. It's
Yeah, but of course, I use digital tools, mostly PowerPoint, but okay. But
it is a digital tool.
I've seen that you and others in our conference were talking about some very interesting digital tools like Padlet or Explore or something like that. So I'm keen on learning on using that. But for now on, it's just like a PowerPoint presentation. And I know I've read some articles and researchers saying that younger generations are more interesting in having a live person speaking in front of them than to have a lot of videos, interactive learning teaching process and so, because they are so bombarded with everything because of the mass media and so on. They are bombarded with all the videos, pictures and so on. So they are going back to the traditional way of learning and saying that they like when the professor just stands and talks. So we have a lot of I don't know how to say. We all think that the digital tools and digitalizing the education is the one step forward, but I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't be that optimistic about it.
Yeah, the truth is that, and that it's something that we discussed a lot during the conference. So I know it's a shared feeling in different countries, but the way that this that COVID and the pandemic forced us into this situation, both the educators and the students, it was sort of a traumatic experience, if I can say. Maybe it's a bold statement, but a lot of people felt that they didn't have the methods, the tools, the right experience to move forward with what was expected from them to do. Either the students, and we're talking about from very young age students, but also the professors.
Yeah,
and the teachers and the professors. Yes.
Sorry, we have students that are now on a second year who just didn't learn how to be students because they started their year in online. They didn't know what the student life is like. What does it mean to be in the lectures? What does it mean to be at the faculty, to be a part of the faculty? So they were just, I feel very sad about it because they didn't learn how to be a true student.
Yeah. So I think the main question after all we've heard is, what do you plan on doing next to keep exploring the subject? Will there be a second conference perhaps, or a workshop or something?
Whatever you like. No, well, I hope that one will make a call in 2023. I plan to apply, probably maybe more oriented towards some workshops, and I would like to do a publication, a book on digital pedagogy, because it's still a fresh theme that hasn't been explored that much. So I think it would be interesting to have either a workshop with some examples of good practices, and then to make a book publication with that could be some sort of a practical guide or something like that. So that is my idea, but I'm open
Looking
to
forward
any.
to it.
Okay, great. But if you have any suggestions, then feel free to email me. Yeah,
I'm sending you my bread making recipe right
yeah.
now.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah, so So that is my plan, and I'm preparing an article about digital pedagogy, not digital education, but digital pedagogy, because this is a brand new branch of pedagogy, which isn't just focused on how to use digital tools in your classroom. It's not a practical pedagogy saying you have to use this or this or this, but it's more focused on what is the appropriate digital tool for a specific subject, for a specific group of kids. Why do we use this digital tool, and is it really adequate for in the learning process? So it's more like a meta level of thinking about digital education and digital tools.
Well, good luck. We're looking forward to read it. And thank you for sharing all your thoughts and information with us. So what do we have next, Nikos?
We have Anna. She was also at the conference. She offered a workshop along with Adela. And she wasn't able to attend today, but that is why we have recorded her interview, so let's watch it.
Hello, Anna. Welcome to Ban Me Not. Thank you for taking the time to record your interview. As December 1st, the day we go live, is a bank holiday for you in Romania. So, would you mind introducing your organization and tell us a bit more about your role over there?
Yes. First of all, a big hello for those watching, and an even bigger thank you for your invitation to be part of the Ban Me Not project. I love the name, by the way. I love it.
Thank you.
So Asociatia Techsoup is basically a capacity building organization for nonprofits, educators in the public school system, and youth in Romania and Moldova. At Techsoup, we try to make technology accessible, understandable, and familiar to change makers in our society. As in mostly all small NGOs, we are a team of 7. Everyone does a little bit of everything, as I'm sure you know. But my main big roles in TechSoup are firstly to manage the greatest, I always say, the awesomest program ever, the Meet and Code Romania and Moldova program, which basically is a small grants competition for NGOs designed to introduce children and youth to basic hands-on coding experiences and digital skills or computer science concepts. I often say I would have loved to be again small in my youth and participate in this kind of events we fund through Meet and Code, because they are awesome. But nevertheless, now I get to meet and to interact with amazing teachers, for example, that go above and beyond for their pupils and create awesome STEAM activities in the Meet and Code program. And in a nutshell, the Meet and Code program is aligned with the European Commission's initiative, Europe Code Week. So we are very intertwined. And secondly, as an instructional designer at TechSoup, I build and develop educational resources, now mostly online free courses for K-12 teachers.
Cool. I assume that most of us working for education are kind of, jealous of these potential activities and resources, and we would love, not only us, but most of the times many adults to participate in these kinds of activities. You've said it, but could you give us one sentence? What is your target goal as an association?
Oh, that's tough in one sentence. Well, in a nutshell, I would say we focus on two big main directions: civil society and STEAM education for teachers. So is that enough, or can civil society,
It's crystal
NGOs?
clear. And you said that now your work and your role has changed and adapted to this era that we've all been through. How would you describe this change, this adaptation? I mean, before COVID and after COVID era, because I know as an association you've been out there for quite a few years now. But how did this thing has affected you?
Well, I would dare to say that we were lucky because we were already using a lot of technology, providing tools and resources for NGOs and teachers. And when COVID came, we basically just had to scale up and be even more online and work more to provide more support for the NGOs that needed our resources, and the teachers who were not prepared for what came. The online teaching is a whole another monster of implications and needs. So we scaled up on short, and we developed more free online resources in those directions.
But you said that you've been familiar with the technology even before COVID. How about your target groups, the teachers? How did they welcome this new thing in their lives?
Welcome. So they adapted. We worked even before COVID. We were working with them to improve their digital skills, to integrate more technology in the classroom. And when COVID came, basically we shifted, and we started also to with the basics. For example, how to use Zoom, how to use all those tools to connect with your children, with your pupils, because no one had done trainings like that before. No one had, oh, maybe a pandemic will hit us and we will go online.
Yeah.
On the bright side, it was a big improvement. So COVID had a bright side, because I don't think we would had this development and improvement in the educational system. A lot of schools bought technology equipment, trained their teachers, is a lot said. The teachers found resources to train themselves, because at the governmental level, unfortunately, there was not a cohesion. It wasn't a
Support.
It was
Yeah.
exactly. It was chaos. They were like, but the teachers really went above and beyond and tried to stay connected with their pupils, and we helped them by providing these free resources of learning and improving their teaching online, because actually it's a whole different structure to teach online versus to teach offline.
Yeah. And the biggest mistake is someone just to try to teach the way he or she teaches live in person via any digital means. I mean, this is one of the biggest mistakes. We didn't know it in advance. We've learned it through. And I also love your approach that even from one of the worst cases that ever happened to humanity, you're trying to extract any good thing and any, sunlight in that occasion. So, what are you up now? What type of activities, what projects are you working on currently?
Well, for the past months, a lot of months, I would say my biggest focus has been building and learning myself how to use our new online learning platform for teachers, because we reached a community of more than 20,000 teachers, and what systems we already had were not enough for the even growing number of teachers in our community. So we switched to a new platform based on Open edX, which is an open source learning platform that was created by Harvard University and MIT for the biggest online learning portal in the world, edX. And it was a big learning curve for me, my colleagues, to learn how to use it and adapt it. We translated a lot of it because unfortunately the English skills of teachers in Romania is quite low. So we had to adapt a lot of the components of the platform, and also build it for the structure we needed. So we have specific courses. We want to achieve specific goals with our online courses. So this is the what I'm doing at work now: online learning, e-learning.
Cool. So you are a trainer and a trainee at the same time, and it's always fun to be on the same on both sides. But I've heard about a festival that you organized recently. Do you mind telling us a bit more?
Yes, thank you for the question, because it was our highlight of the year. Basically, we had 5 days, 3 virtual stages, more than 20 sessions, and more than 5,000 participants enrolled in this festival. We called it Teaching the Future Digital Festival. And it was basically about digital pedagogy, STEAM, and digital citizenship, um, from Romanian and international guests that participated as experts and speakers. And basically we had this full marathon of learning about all these top topics and discussing it with teachers, experts. And we loved it so much that it was just our first edition. We will do it annually. And yes, that was one of the highlights, as I said, of our year, the festival, our digital
Oh,
festival.
I would love to see how this festival, get bigger throughout the years, and would love to follow its evolution. But since you won't be live during the episode to answer any potential questions and maybe interact with some people, uh, where can anyone get in contact with you?
So now I think it's the moment to share shortly my screen, or yes, I can share my screen, and let me. So first of all, this is our website. So Asociatia Techsoup, we have our website also in English. Maybe you can share it in the description of the podcast, or
Yeah,
you'll see.
yeah.
So on our website, you will find out more about the programs we are implementing, and even potential collaboration we might have with you that are watching. Also, YouTube, because you said that I should show YouTube because we have a lot of YouTube videos.
Yes,
Yes, we love making teaching videos, basic tutorials, interviews with teachers, with NGOs. So yes, we love our YouTube channel, and we will.
usually, yeah, usually we show a short video of each guest that we have. But when I visited your YouTube, I was like, oh God, which one to choose? There are so many. That's why we're not showing any video of TechSoup, just redirecting anyone who will watch this episode to visit and choose whichever they want to see.
Yes, thank you a lot for that. You will also find mostly they are in Romanian, but there are also some resources in English, and of course you can just guess some topics or Google Translate them. And of course, Facebook. We're on Facebook, and we invite you also to get in touch and um, find more about us on Facebook.
Great. Thank you very much. It was a really pleasant conversation. I wish we had the chance to interact with the other guests and hosts of this episode. But I think this short video that we are going to show is just enough to begin an interaction and a conversation beyond the episode.
To make them curious to, I heard something I might ask about. Yes.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you also, and hope to stay in touch and maybe meet again, not only in Zagreb, where we met a few weeks ago, but in other occasions too.
I am sure we will meet again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was the interview. So let's move on to our final guest for today, who is Maro.
Hi, it's me. Yes, we were also there in Zagreb, as is very clear throughout this episode, and we participated as Peripatos because we have designed museum educational programs for digital mediums. And I'm going to discuss this. Nikos is going to take my interview, so let's do this.
Yeah, but you know the questions beforehand, so it doesn't count. But anyway, so Maro, what is Peripatos and what is Museotek?
Okay. Do you really don't know what is Peripatos?
Well, I do know, but anyway, for Rose, who's watching.
Okay, for anyone who doesn't know, Peripatos is a socio-cultural enterprise that started its journey back in 2015. As we say, we in Peripatos imagine, design, and implement cultural projects mindful of our environmental effect that aim at a positive impact to society and its progress. And in all of the things that we do, pedagogy and to be more precise, socio-cultural learning is a big part of our work. Not only formal education, but also informal. For anyone who follows our work, you know that we love to do a lot of fun and interactive things, workshops, games, escape rooms in museums, urban games, treasure hunts. If it's fun and attracts people to cultural heritage, we will make it happen. So that's more like the way we work. And of course, we were affected by the pandemic. So like the rest of the world, we had to review our methodology, the way we work, and we offer our activities. We wouldn't just provide what we usually do in the digital environment. So we needed to adjust our methodologies and our practices. And how we did that, we started by firstly educating ourselves. Me and Evangelia participated in many different workshops for UX writing, for online facilitation, for service design, all having in mind how to bring our traditional educational museum educational programs into digital environments. And then we had a collaboration, like we usually like to do. We work with a new team, a new company actually. It's called Museotek, which is a very innovative digital platform and application that allows remote and real-time tours of schools in museums and cultural spaces. From anywhere in the world, schools can, let's say, virtually visit cultural areas and galleries and libraries and museums. And we have a short video about Museotek that's going to introduce it to our audience.
Σε πρωτόγνωρες καταστάσεις, σε μια υγειονομική κρίση που κανείς μας δεν περίμενε να ζήσει, συνεχίζουμε να προσαρμοζόμαστε στα νέα δεδομένα. Με τον πολιτισμό να σιωπά, τα μουσεία παραμένουν κενά και τα εκθέματα δεν συγκεντρώνουν βλέμματα θαυμασμού. Το 2020, οι επισκέψεις στα μουσεία της Ελλάδας μειώθηκαν κατά 81% και οι εισπράξεις έπεσαν κατά 82,7%. Θα χρειαστεί να περάσουν τουλάχιστον 4 χρόνια, ώστε τα μουσεία σε ολόκληρο τον κόσμο να ανακάμψουν πλήρως. Σε αυτήν ακριβώς τη συνθήκη γεννήθηκε το Museotek, η καινοτόμα ψηφιακή πλατφόρμα που επιτρέπει την εξαποστάσεως περιήγηση στο συναρπαστικό κόσμο των μουσείων. Ζωντανά, εύκολα, για όλους και παντού. Αξιοποιώντας τις νέες τεχνολογίες και την πολυετή εμπειρία των ανθρώπων του, το Museotek δημιουργήθηκε με σκοπό να διατηρήσει και να ενισχύσει την επαφή του κοινού με τον πολιτισμό. Το Museotek ανοίγει τις πόρτες των μουσείων στο πιο δυναμικό κοινό, τους μαθητές, και φέρνει το μουσείο στο σχολείο. Μουσεία και σχολεία συναντώνται με 3 κλικ. Το μουσείο κάνει την εγγραφή του και ανεβάζει το υλικό στο πόρταλ με την καθοδήγηση της ομάδας του Museotek. Το σχολείο επιλέγει το μουσείο και το εκπαιδευτικό πρόγραμμα της αρεσκίας του και κάνει την κράτησή του με ασφάλεια. Την ημέρα της περιήγησης, ο μουσιοπαιδαγωγός υποδέχεται τους μαθητές και το ψηφιακό ταξίδι στον κόσμο του μουσείου ξεκινά. Με το Museotek, οι αποστάσεις και τα σύνορα καταργούνται και η μουσιακή εμπειρία γίνεται συναρπαστική και προσβάσιμη για όλους. Το μέλλον των μουσείων ξεκίνησε. Εσείς θα είστε εκεί.
I want to ask about the programs. What are they? What are the themes?
Yeah. We actually, through this collaboration, we produced 4 educational programs. One is called Click on Learning, and it's in collaboration with the Hellenic IT Museum. For everyone who has visited this museum, it hosts a collection of objects related to technology and the general ICT sector. So we worked with the director of the museum and created an educational program that teaches the history of technology in an interactive and participatory way through a technological tool. It's actually a very fun program and one of the most wanted programs in Museotek platform. So we're very proud and happy of this collaboration. Another one is called Strophades, an Unknown Treasure in the Middle of Nowhere. It has a very impressive title because it's about a very impressive place. So it talks about Strophades, which is a small complex of islands of the Ionian Sea. And we present through the program the microcosm of these islands. It has a lot of history, a lot of environmental related themes to discuss and to teach. So we worked on this program that I must say this actually the program is based on a book that was created by the American photographer Robert McCabe and the Greek journalist Katerina Liberopoulou, and it's an awarded by the Academy of Athens book that's called The Last Monk of Strophades. It has also become an exhibition at Benaki Museum, and actually Strophades is a place that it's at the moment uninhabitable and unreachable. And finally, we have 2 more programs. It's called, in collaboration with the Music Library of Lilian Voudouri in the Megaron of Athens, in the Concert Hall of Athens. One is a Christmas mystery program, an educational program especially designed for this time of the year. And the second one is called The Locked Book, which is an educational program that combines mystery, play, and the magic of music and dance, all things that we love. So students look for clues and musical related puzzles through their camera, and they guide the educator to go and look for them and poke them and solve them, but it's from their initiative, from the students' perspective. This.
Okay, good enough. Okay, but you know, physical and digital, I mean, okay, many people are a bit against digital nowadays. Can they be of equal value?
Well, of course, physical experience cannot be replaced. And when we're talking about physical and digital experience, even if it's of the same theme or of the same learning goal, let's say, the whole design and approach of making this experience should be different. And that applies to anything you're going to do. Even if you have the same goal and you use different tools, you have to use the appropriate tools and methods to make it happen. But personally, I do not agree with comparing the usefulness or value in that way, because actually it's sort of misleading, because you're actually comparing two very different things. For a school, for example, that cannot, for any number of reasons, that can be either geographical or financial or anything, cannot visit a museum or a cultural space, then a live streaming tour is of more value than the actual physical experience, because it's their only choice. It's their only way of going there. And that's what happened with Strofades, actually. That's what I want to highlight, because it's a place that's remote. It's not easy, even in the best of circumstances, it's not easy to go there, even more for a school. It has a lot of danger to take young children, young students, to take them into these islands. And the past few years is also abandoned. So in other words, inaccessible. I think that especially after our experience in Digital Pedagogy Conference and from our professional experience in designing educational programs for Museotek, and we have done other examples of cultural experiences in transferring them in the digital, let's say, environment. It always must be clear who you are making this experience for, why are you making it, and always prepare in advance and know your tools very well. And then there's no comparison. Then you can make it happen, something new and something fun, even if it's digital.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, Rose, would you like to comment on something?
No, yeah, I totally agree with all the things that you said now. I agree with what Anna has said. I would like to be a part of that festival. It sounds very fun. Yeah, what I wanted to say, just like for the ending of this interview, is that we don't know what the education will be like in the future. Perhaps we wouldn't even be on some platforms or to have any digital tools, because as you can see, the situation in the world is collapsing a bit with all the Ukrainian-Russian war. So for now, we don't even have a gas, but maybe we won't have even electrical power in a few years. We don't know it, but we have to stay, of course, optimistic. Saying, I think that digitalizing education is a good thing, a very good thing, and it somehow brings closer the teaching and learning process to students and younger generations who are born with in this digital world. So I think that we need to make even more activities in this field, in this digitalizing education, especially on a practical level, which means that we have to help teachers not to write theory on science on digital pedagogy. Of course, that is important, but as we could see it in COVID times, that teachers need help just to learn how to go on Zoom or something like that, just to open the Zoom or something like that. So that I think that we should all focus more on teachers and helping them practically.
Yeah, very nice point.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess our time is reaching its end. So Rose, thank you so much for joining us today. Many thanks also to Anna for accepting our invitation, and some thanks also to Maro, who is here in the way. Yeah, we didn't invite her, but she's here. So if you have anything else that you would like to share, you can always find Peripatos on Facebook and Instagram, or send an email at info@peripatos.net, info@peripatos.net. And if you are a band member, you can reach us directly through the platform. And we will be back next week on Thursday at 6 p.m. Central European Time with our very, very last episode of this season.
Yes,
Okay,
we make it.
Discussing our experience in creating the series of live streaming. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye, bye, bye.